Today we are setting aside stories of business and glamour and sports to analyze a story of almost unimaginable courage. We're talking about a young woman who faced down terrorists, survived an assassination attempt and became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate in history. We are talking about Malala Yousafzai. Now, it's easy to see Malala as a symbol, a victim who became a hero by circumstance, but that view misses the most powerful lesson of her life. Her strength is not accidental. It is the result of a conscious, deliberate, and deeply held psychological framework. Today, we're going to use the core principles from my upcoming book, Master Your Lifescript, to understand the source of her incredible resilience and how her story provides a blueprint for finding your own voice. Let's get into it. Hi and welcome back to How You Win, the channel where we decode the mental frameworks of the world's most impactful people. The master principle that defines Malala's entire life is what my book calls revealing your hidden co-authors and rewriting your life script. We all start life with a script that is co-authored by our family, our cultures, and our circumstance. Success and agency come when you consciously pick up the pen and decide how that story will continue. The script being written for Malala by the Taliban in Pakistan's Swat Valley was one of silence, fear, and invisibility. The rule was simple and brutal. Girls were not to be educated. They were not to have a voice. This was the role being ascribed to her. But Malala, even as a young girl, refused to accept it. Her father, a teacher and a powerful co-author of a different script, encouraged her to learn and to speak. She started a blog for the BBC under a pseudonym detailing her life and her belief in education. This was her first great act of taking authorship. She rejected the script of silence and began writing her own. The assassination attempt in 2012 was the most violent effort imaginable to force her back into the old script, to literally erase her voice, her survival, and more importantly, her decision to speak even more loudly on the world stage is one of the most powerful acts of rewriting a life script in modern history. This decision to continue speaking after the attack demonstrates our second principle with profound clarity: overcoming learned helplessness. As I explain in my book, learned helplessness is the state we enter when we believe that our actions don't matter and that failure or pain is a permanent, unchangeable reality. After being shot for speaking out, the most logical conclusion would be, if I speak, I will be heard again, therefore, to be safe, I must be silent. This is a rational but helpless mindset. Malala chose a different path. She saw the attack not as a permanent stop sign, but as a temporary event that she had survived. She refused to let the trauma become a pervasive narrative that defined her entire identity. Instead of seeing the event as proof that her voice was powerless, she saw it as proof of just how powerful her voice truly was. Why else would aggressors go through such length to silence it? In her famous speech to the United Nations, she said, "The terrorists thought they would change our aims and stop our ambitions, but nothing changed in my life except this. Weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage was born."
The terrorists thought that they would change my aims and stop my ambitions. But nothing changed in my life except this. Weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage was born.
She consciously reframed the moment of greatest trauma into her moment of greatest strength. That is the essence of overcoming learned helplessness. What gives a person such incredible conviction? That brings us to our third principle, achieving your goals with the goal pyramid. My book explains that the most powerful motivation comes when your daily actions are aligned with a clear and powerful role or identity goal at the top of the pyramid. Malala's identity goal is crystal clear. I am an advocate for the 130 million girls who are out of school. Or I am a voice for every child's right to education.
I will advocate for the quality, safe and free education of all children, especially girls around the world. And for that, I am advocating, I'm pushing leaders.
Most of you know what exactly needs to be done. We are facing an education emergency.
130 million girls do not have access to school.
This isn't just a job, it is her core identity. This powerful why is what fuels everything else. It drives her outcome goals, like establishing the Malala Fund to support activists or graduating from Oxford University. And it drives her behavioral goals, the daily work of giving speeches, meeting with world leaders, and continuing her advocacy. When you have an identity goal that is bigger than your own personal safety or comfort, it creates a nearly unbreakable source of motivation. It allows you to endure what others see as unendurable because you are no longer acting for yourself, you're acting in service of your mission. So Malala Yousafzai's story is not just one of survival, it is a story of profound psychological strength, built on a clear system. First, she rewrote her co-authored script, refusing the story of silence written for her and authoring her own. Second, she overcame learned helplessness, reframing a traumatic attack into the catalyst for her global mission. And third, her actions are fueled by a powerful goal pyramid, with her identity as a global advocate giving her unwavering purpose. This is a blueprint for how to find your voice and write your own story no matter the circumstances. If you want the complete system for building this kind of resilience yourself, you'll find it in my upcoming book, Master Your Lifescript. If you want to be the first to know when it launches and get exclusive pre-order bonuses, join the waitlist at the link in the description. What part of Malala's story inspired you the most and why? Drop it in the comments and I'll see you next time when we take another deep dive into how you win. Thanks for watching.